the fuck out of bed, bitch. Go. Get up, and then they got go. Gotta wake up, bitch. Get up. Get up. Get up.
During the winter season, the average normie hibernates, and Bitcoin is essentially non-existent. But there remains a dedicated class we call the humble sat stacker.
Stay humble and we'll stack them sets. We'll stack them sets. Turn up the pressure and we'll turn up the hash. Turn up. Stay humble and we'll stack them sets. We'll stack them sets. Turn up the pressure and we'll turn up the hash.
Let's go, baby. Yeah. Hype Tuesday. Tacos and stacks. Oh my gosh. All right. Just like that. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Stack Sats Show, your beginner-friendly guide to saving in Bitcoin. Oh my gosh. Bitcoin's going to zero. Sell all your coins, you little paper hand pansies. Just kidding. Don't sell your coins. Come on. Come on. This is a test. This is just a test to see if you have diamond hands or lettuce hands, romaine lettuce hands. All right. So, or it's people that have been stuck at like all-time high at 67 or 68,000. They finally got to the positive. They're like, all right, I'm out. Right? They've been waiting to get their money back this whole time. They waited for 2 years. They waited for 2 years to get back to even. And after all the hard work of just holding on through the whole bear market, they're going to bail when it's about to get good. Oh my gosh. Dips are gifts. And the thumbnail for today's episode is Bitcoin checkmate. Who has Bitcoin checkmated, you might be asking? Bitcoin has checkmated the world. Okay? Bitcoin checkmated the banking system. It checkmated the governments. It's done. It's in there. It's too late. The Trojan horse is in the building. It's in the courtyard, right? And these guys are about to fall asleep. It's too late. It's too late. The markets, the world has already gotten a taste of the how profitable it is to hold Bitcoin, how good of an asset it is to hold compared to holding any government money. So it's too late. Checkmate. Bitcoin wins. We win. Right? And we got in there first before everybody else did, right? But don't be discouraged. Don't be afraid. Don't be sad if you haven't gotten to your stacking goal yet. Nothing has changed as far as the way that government and the things are running that has already given Bitcoin so much value, right? Still nothing has changed. So it's going to continue to go up as it has been, it probably even more now that there's more institutional buying pressure, right? Halving is coming up. Another crazy thing that alone would make the price pump, right? And now that it's palatable, now that it's normal for a business to use it as a treasury asset like MicroStrategies, what's going to be the next big company to start holding it as a treasury reserve? And that's going to be so much more buying pressure, right? And what about the next person that wants to compete against Michael Saylor for being the richest person in the world, right? The richest person in the world, top 10 list, right? What are any of those guys going to get into it? Are they going to figure out that, hey, Michael Saylor's going to get on that list and pass them all up if they don't start stacking more Bitcoin than he already has, right? And on top of that, what about if another government figures it out and starts mining or buying it, right? Isn't Qatar buying it now or something like that? It's crazy, right? Once that starts, then it's like a race, right? All these institutions, all these entities are racing to accumulate as much Bitcoin as possible, right? And they have the volume of money. They have the buying pressure that no pleb could ever dream of, right? So we got in early, we got in before they did, and that's the best part, is that they'll be able to pump our bags. But in the end, it's not about our bags getting pumped so that we can make more dirty fiat money. It's about having an asset that continues to increase in purchasing power, right? And so it makes you more wealthy, right? Doesn't mean you have to sell it to spend it, right? You can treat it like an asset, like the wealthy treat their assets nowadays, right? If you have about $100 million worth of real estate and like worth of value stored in like real estate, you could take loans against that real estate, right? You don't need to take $100 million worth of loans out, but maybe you could take out $100,000 worth of loans, maybe $200,000 worth of loan, whatever you feel like you need to survive for that year, right? And what's going to happen is the loans that you take out to live off of cannot be counted as income because they're debt. So you get basically non-taxable income, right? And on top of that, your asset, your Bitcoin, will continue to appreciate in value. So there's never a point where your assets are worth less than you owe. So it's such a good deal. Anyways, but before you get to that level, you got to start by stacking. And that's what we do here on the show. We stack our brains out. We stack as much as we can, whenever we can, whether it's high, whether it's low, it doesn't matter. We still stack every single day. So welcome, everybody. Round of applause from the live studio audience for Paul, for Carlos Jaramillo in the house. Let's go. Johnny Midas. We got Paul. We got McLovin. We got, let's see. Yeah, I got everybody. If you're new to the show, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button on the way in, and let's get started with the first segment of the show that we like to call the Sat Strength. Today the price, let's go, Mr. Android in the house. Welcome. Today the price of Bitcoin is $62,408. Round of applause and shout out to Mr. Leonard in the house. What up, Leonard? Welcome. So what does this mean? Do we have to buy a whole Bitcoin all at once for $62,000? I don't have that kind of money. What are you, nuts? I'm gonna just go spend my money on an altcoin that's like named after some weird animal or something that has no real value that they can print more of. Just kidding, don't do that. Look, if you're looking at the price of $62,000 and you're saying to yourself, I can't afford that, well, let me tell you something. You don't have to buy a whole Bitcoin all at once. You could buy a fraction of a Bitcoin. A fraction of a Bitcoin is called a Satoshi, okay? A Bitcoin is made up of 100 million Satoshis, just like a dollar is made up of 100 cents, okay? Call it a cent, call it a penny, call it a nickel, call it a dime, call it a quarter. It's still US dollars, right? So if you accumulate 100 pennies, you in essence have a whole dollar. Well, if you accumulate 100 million Satoshis, you in essence have a whole Bitcoin, okay? So a Satoshi is not a Sats symbol, because there's a poop coin out there called Sats now, which sucks. But when we say Sats here, we're referring to Satoshis, fractions of a Bitcoin. It's not a different symbol than the Bitcoin symbol, the B with the little dollar sign. It's actually a fraction of a Bitcoin. So we're highlighting this because you need to know that if you want to get started by saving in Bitcoin, you can start with as little as like $5 or $10 depending on your exchange, and you can start stacking Sats little by little. And whatever value you do put into Bitcoin, that value is getting shielded from inflation. It's gaining purchasing power the longer you hold it. And like we said before, it's like taking your salary and setting it aside so that you can go back in time and give yourself a perpetual raise for as long as you hold that Bitcoin, right? I know it's a wild concept. Maybe we'll talk about it a little bit more in this episode, but let's keep going. Okay, So that said, let's say you're walking down the street, minding your own business. You look down, you see a penny, you pick it up, and all the day you'll have not just good luck, I guess, but 16 Satoshis. We're back. We're back at 16 Satoshis. Yesterday, I think we were getting less than 15 Satoshis for a single penny. We're back to 4 rows here. But who knows how long that'll last. Okay. Bitcoin is down. It's probably down because people are taking profits from their previous buys that they were maybe negative on for the last 2 years. And so they see themselves back at zero, and they're thinking, okay, I didn't lose money. I'm going to take my money back and just call it a wash. Well, if you do that, is it a wash? It's not a wash because you spent however much money from 2 years ago when the dollars were more potent, when they had more purchasing power. So if you sell at break even, you basically give the government a 0% loan and lost however much worth of inflation in the past 2 years on that money, right? So don't do that. Hold on to it. It's going to keep going up. And these dips are designed for 2 things. The first one is it's designed to come down so that the people that bought, where's that picture? Here it is. So the people that bought up here, because they think it's going to keep going up once we hit all-time high, which it did. Once they hit all-time high, people are like getting ready to go. Maybe all the people that bought in here are new to Bitcoin. They just heard about it. They're like, hey, it's about to hit all-time high. Let's go buy some before it hits all-time high. And so they go buy some, they get in here, and they're like ready to make more fiat. They're ready to make more dollars, right? They're not here for the Bitcoin. They're here for the dollars, right? They're here to make money, okay? They're here to make melting ice cubes, okay? So they get in this area, and it hits all-time high, and they're expecting it to just rocket from there. And instead, the market makers, always manipulating people, they pull it down, right? And so now the people that are in here, they are in... they're losing money already. They're in the negative, right? And they're getting scared, right? And they push it down here to scare them, right? To get them to fear or to fear the loss. And this little pump down, they're like, oh man, I'm gonna lose. So these little wicks that stick out like that, it's just a market maker like wicking it down fast so people get scared and sell out of their position and just say, you know what? I'm just gonna take the loss. I'm just gonna take this 5% loss because that's my tolerance is 5%. So I got in here at this part here, and I'm gonna take a 5% loss. That puts me about right here, right? And so the market maker just comes down and spikes the price low like this, so he can hit everybody's stop losses. And once he hits everybody's stop losses, he starts bringing it back up to get you to think it's coming back up, and you get back in, right? And then he psychs you out again and takes you down again. It's so sad, the manipulation, all the way down. Takes all of your stop losses again. All of those right there. Look at that. Just came down and take everybody's stop losses right here. It's so sad. Boom. Another about 5% down. Just came down real quick. Make sure everybody's stop losses got triggered. So now if you got in over here, after this little pull up, you're like, all right, it's gonna go back up. It's coming back up. So you get in here, and then he pulls it back on you again, right? And then you're watching it go down. You're like, oh man, okay, I'm up my stop loss like right here. Most people put their stop losses like right here, right? And then he pushes it down, grabs all of your stop losses, and then we'll take the price back up again. And if you're dumb enough to fall for it again, right? You're gonna fall for it again here, and it's gonna bring it back down to a certain point until eventually this is gonna start to go back up, right? Or it might even go up from there. Who cares, right? The point is that when we buy and we hold, we're immune to all of those manipulations, right? We're immune to the way they manipulate. This guy's working on selling, on you buying when it starts to go up, and then selling out when you hit your stop loss, while at the same time he's doing this three shifts down to convince the people that want to short Bitcoin, believe it or not, that Bitcoin was going to go have a bigger drop, right? So you're thinking of shorting Bitcoin from up here, like, all right, I shorted Bitcoin. I should short Bitcoin, and it goes down. You're like, oh man, I missed that move. I should have shorted it. Or it's coming back up. I missed that move. I should have shorted it from there, right? So you're shorting it already from here, maybe, right? But then you get greedy and you want it to do a bigger pullback, so you short it even harder, and then you get stuck, right? Now you're shorting it right here, like we're so close to when it reverses, and it's going to reverse on you. So the market maker doesn't care about Bitcoin; they just care about making money, right? So what we need to do to avoid that and just sidestep all of that manipulation, all you do is just buy it and you hold it, and you don't care what the price is, you don't care what the manipulation is, right? When it dips, maybe you get a little extra stack going if you see it dip hard enough, right? But in the long term, all of these ups and downs will be lows compared to where it's going to go. Okay. So I hope that's helpful for you guys that maybe just got into it and realized, hey, we're down like 10% or whatever, right? How much are we down? From slapping all-time high, we are down. Not even like about 10%, but we went as far down as like about 15%. So that's not bad. It's not a bad pullback at all. All right, let's see. Let's end this poll. Did you buy the dip? 60% said yes, 40% said no. I bet the 40% that said no was because they are out of dry powder, which is perfectly normal. Carl in the house. What up, Carl? Round of applause. Some of the last audience for Carl. Let's go, guys. We got 11 concurrent viewers. Holy smokes, it's J-Dub. What up, J-Dub? Thanks for tuning in. Who trades Bitcoin? Idiots. Exactly. So I had the chart up to show that it is a sucker's game to try to time the market. You're always going to lose against the market maker. They have the volume of ways to basically manipulate price a little bit, right? But you're not going to beat it. It's a point. You're not going to beat it. And you're going to spend too much time hanging out at the computer, staring at the screen, waiting for something to happen, and you look away and boom, something happens and you missed it, right? Anyway, so with that said, let's jump into the Why We Stack segment. Even though I've been ranting for the past minute already. All right, why we stack? We stack because the way the system is set up, it's set up to keep us poor, okay? You work harder and harder to earn money that is melting away to just maintain a certain level of standard of life, right? You can no longer save for anything, because in order to save for something, you need to find a vehicle that is beating the real rate of inflation of about 10%. Okay? So if you're investing, saving in a bank with some yield, right? It won't matter unless you're making at least 10%. And what's making 10% these days? What's going to give you 10%, right? Nothing really, right? Maybe if you're a really highly skilled 1% of 1% trader, right? Maybe if even going to a prestigious school, getting highly educated, getting the best job that career field has to offer, you might feel wealthy for the first couple of years, maybe, when you first get that really high-powered, high-paying job that required you to spend a whole ton of time and money of getting educated, meeting all the right people, doing all the right things, getting straight A's, whatever, right? Eventually, inflation's going to catch up to you. As soon as you have negotiated your salary, you're already going backwards, because once you've set that amount that you're willing to exchange your life force for, inflation is going to already start beating you at that. Okay, it's going to start eating away at those profits. It's going to start eating away at your prosperity. Okay, and you did nothing wrong. And that's the worst of it, is that people feel like they're failing, getting depressed, even suicidal, because they feel like they've done everything right. And maybe they have done everything right. They're like a top student in their class. Work hard. Never did a wrong thing in their life. Focus, dedication, all of that goes to the wayside because the money is broken and it's stealing from you, and there's nothing you can do about it but save in Bitcoin. Right? That's why we stack. to keep it super simple, right? And I always tag my posts on X with cost of living crisis, right? Because it is a cost of living crisis. But the cost of living crisis is fueled by or caused by the inflation of the money, okay? And it's hard for regular people out there to understand or to take the time to go do the research and figure out what the heck inflation really means, right? Everybody thinks, everybody believes, everybody's trained to or taught to believe that the economy needs to grow at 2% in order for us to be prosperous, right? But that's false, right? That's the Keynesian economics way of looking at things, right? And anyway, when the money's easy to make, society begins to break. It's a great quote from the Total Twins series. I'm not sure if they're the ones that came up with it, but it's a great way to describe what's happening, right? So that's why we stack. We stack because if we don't stack, we're going to continue to be slaves to this fiat system, and we'll have to continue to work 2 jobs and an Uber on the side just to have a little bit less every year. That's so depressing. That's so depressing. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to make you sad, but it's the reality, dude. Right? Roman is stacking for a Lambo minivan. Let's go. Let's go. That's awesome. Oh my gosh. Oh, that is depressing. Okay, it is depressing, but I'm not gonna tell you how depressing it is and not provide you with an out, right? This is the solution. It's that easy. All you gotta do is stack your balls off and hold on to your sats in your own custody and wait or live your life. That's all you gotta do. Stack sats, take custody, and maybe do it again. Do more of that, and then you'll be good, right? And that's why we stack. Okay. So we'll just leave it at that. I'm gonna give myself a round of applause from the live studio. 2 jobs and the Uber on the side is standard. Mr. Android, I know, it's so sad. It's so sad, right? Yeah. Because, oh my God, let's get into it a little bit, Mr. Android, because you totally get it. Like 2 jobs and an Uber on the side, it's a little bit funny, but at the same time, it's the very reality for some people right now, right? It's that very reality that you're doing all the right things, working your butt off, and it's still not enough, right? It's like you're getting depleted of your life force, right? In an era where we have so much technology and so much advantage over society of maybe 10, 20, 30 years ago, right? All of the time savings, all of the work savings that technology has given humanity somehow are not enough to keep us wealthy, right? Because all of those profits, all of the good, all of the all of the labor that technology frees us from. Sorry, it sounds like I'm saying freeze, but I'm saying FREE. All of the time that technology frees for humanity is being sucked up by inflation, right? And yeah, some of it by greedy corporations, but still most of it is by the way that we have the society set up. So the only reason why society has survived this long on the dollar system and the system of inflation and theft is because every once in a while we'll have a big technology jump that should make things cheaper for everybody and more abundant. But instead, it just resets the clock on the fiat system. Does that make sense? It gives the fiat system a little bit longer lifespan because now they have another thing to leech off of, right? So specifically, I'm thinking right now of AI, right? AI is now in full effect, or not in full effect, but at the beginnings of AI are happening. There is definite advantages to AI as far as like being able to automate some tasks that maybe you had to pay labor for to do something before, right? But instead of lowering the prices of things that they're making thanks to AI, they're keeping the prices the same or even higher, and just taking a bigger profit margin, right? So like they're taking the prosperity that should trickle into the society with that comes with technology advancements and just kind of soaking that up by either inflation or by just straight up greed. Anyway, so let's get into the stack recap, guys. I think that's enough for why we stack, and it's a lot of cool topics, and let's just keep it going. Here we go. Stack recap, because we don't only talk about stacking Bitcoin, we do it Monday through Friday. Monday through Friday, 12:30 p.m. Pacific Standard, 3:30 Eastern. So come on down, invite a friend that doesn't know anything about Bitcoin maybe. I'll explain it for them in a nice, respectful way. I always start the show off with the explanation of what Bitcoin is, the Satoshis, how they relate to the Bitcoin, and then we do an example of how easy it is to actually start buying a little bit of Bitcoin a little bit at a time. And part of that is the stack recap. So we started buying Bitcoin back in 2023, May 22nd. We started at $5 a day, and then moved on to $10 a day, and eventually moved up to $20 a day. But since then, we've accumulated 14 million Satoshis, which is 0.14 Bitcoin. It cost us $5,044 to accumulate this Bitcoin. And if we were to buy the same amount of Bitcoin with today's weaker dollars, it would cost us $8,807 to buy the same amount of sats. That's how much the dollar has depreciated against Bitcoin. This is why we stack. Okay, this is the exact reason why we stack. If you see these numbers and you might get discouraged, maybe $5,000 is a lot for you, but remember, we started with $5 a day. Okay, so it's very doable. You just gotta choose the things that you spend your money on, and maybe don't spend your money on the Starbucks coffee. Make some coffee at home, right? Anyway, there's different ways to add a little stack. If you're already doing 2 jobs, maybe do the Uber on the side, but take that Uber on the side money and put it straight into Bitcoin, like you never even earned it, right? And then slow and steady, as time passes, that money you earned from your Uber side hustle will become more valuable the longer you hold it. Just like this show, I guess, is kind of like my side hustle, right? And I am funding the show with my own money from my regular job, but the example would still be the same. Let's say they took an Uber job on the side, and you started stacking all of your Uber pay into Bitcoin at the same time that I started making the show back in May. Okay, and you're obviously going to make more than $5 a day doing Uber, right? Cover your costs, I guess. Cover your costs of Uber or food delivery, whatever you want to do. Cover your costs of the gas, but then take the rest and put it into Bitcoin, right? And then next thing you know, we can go back in time, and let's say this is my $5 of Uber money, right, from working that day that I put into Bitcoin. Well, that Uber money is more than doubled. So I basically went back in time and earned $10 on that Uber day instead of $5, right? That's what I mean when I say holding Bitcoin is like giving yourself a perpetual raise for work you already did back in time. So it's pretty freaking awesome, right? Think of it that way. Okay. So, all right. Today's price is $62,000, and our average buy price for 2024 is $47,000. So today we're going to do a single stack of $20. All right. There it is. Just like that. And now that we know how much Bitcoin we're buying for today's episode, it's time to stack some sats. Let's go, baby. Let's go. As you guys know. Ah, dang it. Swan logged me out. Let me log back into my Swan account, guys. Dang it. It usually does that to me on Tuesdays too. They like tacos maybe over there. Taco Tuesday. Okay. Give me a second. I gotta do this real quick. Boom. Boom. That's so funny. Normally I have this logged in already, guys. Give me a second. Let's see if I can beat the song. Come on, come on. Come on, come on. I have to go through like 100 security checks. Okay. Gotta do that on a different screen. Alright. Cool. Oh man, I'm slacking. Where is it? There it is. I'm not gonna be able to do it on time before the song runs out. Let's go, come on. Alright, I see it. There it is. There it is. Sorry guys, I have this account super locked down, so I gotta go through a lot of stuff. Almost there. This. I wasn't able to do it before the song ended. Okay. Check my authentication real quick. Almost done, almost done. Too many codes. And then you get like the anxiety of not typing the code fast enough before it changes. There it is. Ah, did I get it? I got it. I'm in. All right. Oh, jeez. All right. It's time to stack some. Now it's time to stack some sats. Here we go. Browser. Boom. Ah, wrong one. What? Okay, give me a second. Why is it showing that? Oh, it's not in there. There we go. Show me the browser. There it is. All right, $20 of Bitcoin today. Here we go. And I'm going to take a screen preview. And then we will stack the $20 for today. Super exciting. Oh, at least we're back over 30,000 sats for the $20. That's good. It's a good sign. Okay. Here we go. We're stacking the sats. Drum roll, please. It's going. That's so funny. Log me out. Crazy. How dare they? Bitcoin's coming in. Let's go. We're stacking. Making sats. Stacking sats, I mean. Come on. Come on. Come on. Hit it. Yeah, live TV. Exactly, Carlos. Carlos, where are you from? Are you in the US or are you in a different country? Dun, dun, dun. Come on. Come on. Oh, there it is. We've stacked. And just like that, once we stack, we chill. But let's update the spreadsheet with today's buy. Let's go. That's it. It's that simple. It's that simple. It's so simple, even a guy on the internet can do it. Hard Huddle in the house. What up, sir? Good to see you in here. All right, we bought at 62,303. $20 worth of Bitcoin. And today, the yield is 0.000317780 Bitcoin, which translates to 31,780 Satoshis. Not bad, not bad. Today's buy, I like it. Cheap sats, keep them coming. That brings our overall score, overall Satoshi count for 2024 to 3.4 million Satoshis. Let's go. Oh, cool. Awesome. I've never been to Ecuador. It looks awesome. Maybe someday I'll go visit. Ecuador is cool. Okay. So, Carlos, in Ecuador, is there places where you can spend in Bitcoin? Do any vendors or companies or places that sell things take Bitcoin? Just out of curiosity. Like, how popular is Bitcoin in Ecuador? Okay, here. Boom. 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 There it is. We added the sats we stacked to the whole account. Elaine was in here yesterday. She called it proof of stacking. I like that. Proof of stacking sheet. So overall for the whole show, we're up to 14.1 million Satoshis. And remember, guys, although it's fun to keep track of the sat count value against a dollar. What up, BTC Bunga in the house? Good to see you. Although it's fun to keep track of the gains, okay? The number that should be most important to you is this and this number. It's the same number. Is that your Satoshi count under control from your wallet is going up. That's the real number that counts. This number is just an illusion, okay? It's just temporary. It's going to keep changing. But this number is what counts. You know, when you see people say 1 Bitcoin equals 1 Bitcoin, 1 Satoshi equals 1 Satoshi, guys. It's what matters, okay? Keep stacking, keep trading those melting ice cubes for hard money, for Bitcoin, and life gets easier, okay? Life gets easier. All right, so any questions? Let's get into the question area. Where's my question area? There it is. All right. Feel free to hit me with any questions. I'm going to kind of read through the comments, see if I missed anything juicy. Some good stuff. Time to market by buying every time. Let's go. Carlos gets it. Time to market by buying every time. 100%, says McLovin. I would not be able to sleep at night if I was trading BTC. Just stack and chill. Exactly, Paul. Dude gets it too. Paul gets it. Yeah. I shed a tear when we hit ATH. When we hit all-time high, says Hard Huddle. Can't save them all. Dude, that's so true. I don't know if you guys remember when we first started the show. The first real rip we had. Like, the first real jump that we had when I started the show. It affected me more than it does now. Like, I feel like at this point, I don't know. I'm not saying I'm not saying I don't care, but like I care less than I did before. I still get a little bit of a bad feeling, like, oh man, I wish like everybody was in it, right? But you kind of need the price to pump for them to get it on their radar. And once they get it on their radar, then they're going to start looking at it. And maybe this is the second time it's on their radar. And this time it hopefully sticks. This time they find somebody. It doesn't have to be me. Any content creator, a book, a video, a podcast about Bitcoin, and they finally start to see what it really is. And they take 30 minutes to an hour to get a little basic intro, right? And I think if you spend like an hour just trying to, just like maybe an hour or two, you know the problem exists. You know that the money's not buying as much as it used to, but you don't understand why. As soon as you start to understand why, dude, it's like at that point you don't need anybody to tell you to look into Bitcoin. You're gonna be down that rabbit hole so hard. that you don't need any motivation. The motivation is to be like, holy smokes, you're gonna have that epiphany, whatever it's called. Is it epiphany with an N or epiphany with an M? I think it's with an N, right? Epiphany. You're gonna have that epiphany, that aha moment, if you will, where you're like, holy smokes, this is what I've been feeling. That feeling of not being able to keep up, not being able to stay ahead, and falling behind slowly and gradually. It's like, oh, I'm doing everything right, right? Or yeah. And once you get to that feeling, and you start to see you start to understand like the concepts in the Bitcoin standard, right? You're like, son of a gun, I knew it wasn't me. And you instantly, not that you're trying to like shed the blame if you're not working anyway and you're making poor decisions, then I'm sorry, that's on you, right? But if you're doing the right things and you're making right decisions and you're working your butt off, and it's still not working out for you, maybe it's not you. Maybe it's the system we're in, right? Anyways, once you start reading those books and start to understand it, you might have some hope. Like, you know what? I've been doing everything right my whole life, and I made myself valuable to society by getting educated and being able to execute these tasks, these things, this skill set I built up over time, right? That has value. But unfortunately, the value I've been getting for it has been getting stolen, right? But once you figure out that you can take that value that you've been earning and save it in a system that's actually going to make it increase over time, right? Then it's great, right? Then it's the real contract you thought you had with society, right? Because the contract you thought you had with society, the contract you thought you had with America, the agreement, is that this is the land of opportunity. And if you work hard enough and pull yourself up by your bootstraps, right? You'll be able to be successful in this country if you're not lazy. Okay? So what does that mean? That means that if you're not successful in this country, you're lazy. That's what's implied, right? If you're not successful in this country, then you're lazy. But no, you're not lazy. It's just that the system is taking all your wealth from you before you can accumulate enough to make a difference, right? So you're already doing all the good stuff. You're already working. You're already doing all the right stuff. Don't fumble the ball with like 5 yards from the end zone, a yard from the end zone, by saving your wealth in the dollars, by saving in dollars. Okay? You already did all the work. You already ran the ball all the way down the field. Now score that touchdown by saving that wealth in Bitcoin. Okay? That's it. Super simple. That's all you gotta do. Work your normal job, pay your bills in dollars, save in Bitcoin. Or pay your bills in whatever your local currency is. Okay? And it doesn't matter if you're in America, right? Or in any other country. If you're working and making value with your skills, take some of that wealth, save it in Bitcoin, and like I said before, you'll have yourself a continuous raise, a continuous retroactive raise for as long as you can hold those sats. All right? So with that said, I'll see you guys tomorrow. And remember, if you ain't stacking, you're slacking. Woo!